we're on the Kangarutha walk. We started at the Wallagoot Gap Inn. We're going to walk to Tarthra, about 9 kilometres. We're just now climbing up over Turingle Head, and going to go and visit Games Bay, which is just on the other side, just to the north here, and see if we can do a bit of videoing. Picked a very good morning for the walk, nice and cool, and a bit cloudy on and off, but the sun coming out, and it's all abandoned, not seeing many people at all. When you look carefully on the Google Earth image, it's pretty clear, or a sort of rectilinear pattern for all these little inlets as you're walking up this walk, all the way actually, just showing you here from Wallagoot Gap up to Games Bay, but this extends for the whole walk, and these reflect probably joints or little faults in the felsic volcanics, and this allowed the sea in, and the volcanics generally erode out in a sort of north-south or northeast-southwest direction and form these little sort of rectilinear inlets. And here's the view from about 100 metres up on the drone, and you can see the way there's a fault line or something in the rocks there have allowed the sea access, and then it's eating out these much softer layers that are running north-south and making these little coves everywhere. There's lots of these little inlets all the way up, but Wallagoot Gap is by far the most spectacular. We're just south of Games Bay now, and you can see here a little inlet, very similar to Wallagoot Gap actually, just to the south of us. Obviously the sea's making use of some fault cutting through the rocks and eroding in. Just approaching Games Bay now from the south. It's maybe half an hour walk up from Wallagoot Gap. Here's the first view of Games Bay through the trees. Quite a surf running today, but we'll go down and maybe do a video down there. It's typical a lot of this Kangarutha walk. You really only catch glimpses of the views through the trees, but there are a few places like Games Bay where you can actually get down to the water, and we'll go there now. Here we are at Games Bay on the Kangarutha walking track. It's about 9:30. Been going half an hour more or less, and I'm going to just stop here and do a bit of droning in this spot. We're looking east here, and this is another little inlet caused by a fault that's running east-west, I think, like this. And the sea's just eating into it. Anyway, let's do a bit of videoing. Right guys, that was Games Bay. Got some good drone footage, and now I'm going to head on further along towards White Rocks and see what we can see along there. It's actually getting quite warm now. Now we're walking up to the White Rocks area. It gets a bit complicated in there with the roads and the paths, so hopefully this will help explain where you should actually be walking when you're up there. Right, we're on White Rock Road. I guess it's about a third of the way along the track. And this eventually winds its way all the way around. Goes due west and then goes north, and eventually comes out on Kangarutha Road near Evans Hill. Used really as a fire track. There's also some quarrying went on around here for white rock, which I think is actually pipe clay. It's probably very weathered felsic volcanics. The rocks around here are all Devonian felsic volcanics, and they weathered to get a lot of kaolinite, and I'm guessing that's what they mined here. Now, it's easy to get lost here, but there's a little marker on this tree here you've got to keep your eye out for. I'm going north. When you go south, there's similar markers on the trees. You can just about make them out up there. So we've got to go down this track here, not down these two here, which go to the coast and then stop. So, let's carry on. We're looking at Kangarutha Point here, looking southwards, and then now we're going to pan to the north. Over there's Boulder Bay, not very far away now it's Kainini and Kangarutha. Coming up from Kangarutha Point, more stairs. Typical tea tree tunnel here for this part of the world. Another cove. Coastline's full of them, like little versions of the Wollongong Gap further south. This is another example of one of these east-west
trending gullies or little bays and inlets formed where the sea is exploiting east-west or northeast-southwest trending joints or faults in the harder volcanics, and once it gets through and manages to cut through along those faults, it can erode out the softer material behind, which is where the beaches and bays are actually formed.
Here we are at Boulder Bay. So one more bay, which is Wild Horse Bay, and then into Tartha. And just go down to the sea, have a look. Well, I must say, that's not an easy beach to cross, and it's not very well signposted. You see there's a stick there to show you where to go. You have to walk all through this stuff, then eventually you make your way to here. There's a bit of a sign here, and then we're going to go up there, up the steps, but very poorly signposted and very difficult walking. Be careful you don't turn your ankle on this stuff.
The final stretch of the walk goes up from Boulder Bay up to Kayanini, and I have to say it is just about the roughest part of the track, not in good condition at all, and needs some care and attention. I think just be very careful on this stretch.
We are at Kayanini, just almost in Tartha. This is the end of the walk. It's taken me 4 3/4 hours, but quite a lot of that time I've been doing drone shots and photography. I reckon I spent at least an hour and a half doing that, so I would guess this walk's taken me just over 3.5 hours, which is about what it took me last time. Right, we're at the top of the steps leading down to Kainini. This is the end of the walk. There we go.